Lloyd Center occupies a very unique spot in the ongoing work to rescue the environment of this area and the areas around it. There is no other institution doing today what the Lloyd Center is doing here. And that is taking research on the estuarial deterioration and the rivers which dot the shores here in Dartmouth and in Westport and New Bedford and Fairhaven, and taking the findings of that and not only using them to change citizens' behavior, but also taking those findings and translating them into educational opportunities and taking top-grade environmental science classes into the local public schools. We now have education classes in all the sections of the 5th grade in the Dartmouth public schools, which derive directly from the scientific findings of our Turn the Tide work. Tony Milham, Dr. Milham's work on the Turn the Tide program is absolutely critical to preserving the estuaries here in Dartmouth and the rivers that feed into them. And that is an ongoing project, collaborative effort with the town of Dartmouth, University of Massachusetts in Dartmouth, and our friends and colleagues at the Coalition for Buzzards Bay. And through Tony's work, which is done with quite a number of interns who are attracted to the work at the Lloyd Center, he is making findings on a daily basis which are going to be translated into programs and educational efforts to get the citizens here to change their behavior and stop doing the things that are being done which are damaging our rivers. And it's a very interesting approach. It's gaining national recognition, and his work is highly regarded for the very real effect it's having on drawing attention to the fragile nature of our coastal resources, but also in coming up with effective ways of dealing with them.
I started out as a field biologist in graduate school, and I loved the field work, but I realized that there was a gap between the research that scientists were doing and the general public having an understanding of the importance of that research and the importance of the wildlife in different areas. And so I got into environmental education to try and bridge that gap between the scientific community and the general public. I'm from Massachusetts, so I had been living in Pennsylvania, and when I saw the opportunity to come to the Lloyd Center, I really wanted to come back to the ocean and be able to teach kids about their local community. We can't expect them to preserve nature if they don't understand it. And the only way for them to understand it is to experience it. So we need to bring them out and help give them an appreciation for the resources that they have.
We have a group of children here every day, and it's really quite remarkable, the things that they choose to come and tell us about. So I think we are giving kids an opportunity to get away from their hurried and busy and overscheduled lives to do some of the things we all had a chance to do when we were kids. There are too many rules today telling children they can't do this and they can't do that, and I think this is a terribly important part of their lives, and I think the Lloyd Center is doing something very unique in providing it. The fact that the Lloyd Center has reached over 10,000 children in its programs, the fact that the Lloyd Center is actively supported by a great many people in this community, the fact that our annual fundraiser, the Clam Bake, for the second year in a row has been completely sold out. I think it shows that the people who live in this part of the world or who come here in the summer recognize that what the Lloyd Center is doing is not just a discretionary activity, but something that's absolutely essential. And it's that reason that they choose to devote their own private resources to it. One of the things that the Lloyd Center has been doing over the years, which is very, very important, is protecting the endangered species along our beaches here, the piping plovers and least terns. This work has been going on for years now, protecting the birds in Allen's Pond, at Barney's Joy Beach, at Michon Point, and all along the coast here.
Historically, the Lloyd Center has protected all the shorebirds in Bristol County, and so we're one of the first organizations, I think, in the state to protect the birds from when they are endangered to this point. So we often have the first bird showing up in the state. So the Lloyd Center has been a big part in starting this plover effort that's gone on since 1986. Our goal is to help protect against predators. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Like we've had some abandonments on nests, particularly Horseneck Beach, which is a major beach. So I guess the big picture is that there's still battles, to be won with the piping plover that we haven't fully solved. So there's more work that lies ahead if we want to have a plover hatch for years to come.
I hadn't heard of the Lloyd Center until I got my internship here, and it's been nice to see a small independent environmental center that tends to get shadowed by the larger organizations. And I just realized so much work goes on here, so much research and so many educational programs, and it's just been a really nice experience getting into one of these organizations and being able to help out.
Mark Mello, who's been the director of research here for years, is one of the top insect experts in the United States, and what he's doing that's of particular importance now is doing inventories on critical pieces of land which might be developed in a way that would hurt endangered species, and it's a terribly important work, and it takes an expert like Mark to do that. He has also compiled an extraordinary collection of mounted butterflies and moths here at the Lloyd Center, and scientists can come from all over the country and make use of that collection when they need to.
We want to be known, as the place to come to for unbiased information on environmental issues in southeastern Massachusetts. We want a developer to feel as comfortable as a conservation agency that they're going to get as accurate information as possible. They might not like the information they get, but they can at least rely that there's not an agenda that's produced. We have consciously been non-advocacy since our inception because we're more interested in providing as accurate information in both our education programs and in research as possible.
I'm particularly proud of the work the staff does here, and I'm also very proud of the work that the volunteers do who are drawn to the Lloyd Center. The Lloyd Center's staff is grossly underpaid. They're very skilled, and they do what they do because they're passionate about what it is the Lloyd Center is accomplishing.
What I'm most proud about at the Lloyd Center and what the Lloyd Center's done for more than 25 years is when I see adults come back and say, I was here as a 5th grader and I remember the touch tank. They come back now as adults. Some of them have children of their own, and they said, I wanted to bring my kids here to experience the estuary in the Lloyd Center and be able to show them, what they had done when they were in school or when they were younger. And it really makes you feel good that you made an impact on those kids that they remember for 15, 20 years later.